On September the 14th, 2003, a routine night shift at the Wingate Hotel in Illinois suddenly turned into something far more disturbing. The hotel's security manager was working at his desk when a series of complaints began flooding in from guests staying on the second floor. They were all reporting the same thing: blood-curdling screams. According to the callers, the sounds appeared to be coming from a single room, room 209.
John says he hears the screaming coming from that room, and I hear it too. But we're sure that no one's checked into that room, correct? John, just wait. We're going to get a hold of the police, so I would wait for the police, John.
At first, it sounded like a typical disturbance call, perhaps a guest causing problems, or someone in need of help. But there was one major problem. No one was supposed to be in room 209. Hotel records showed the room was vacant. No one had checked in. No one had been assigned a key. And yet, the screams continued. As staff attempted to make sense of the situation, an unsettling detail emerged. This wasn't the first time room 209 had attracted attention. Over the years, numerous guests had reported hearing strange sounds coming from the room late at night. Most of the complaints had been dismissed as misunderstandings, exaggerated stories, or noises traveling through the building. But this time was different. For the first time, the events were being documented as they happened.
Wait for the police, John. Amy, John's gonna enter the room real quick just to check, make sure, see what's going on. Wait one.
As the security manager continued recording, an employee cautiously approached the room to investigate. What he found inside only deepened the mystery. Despite being completely empty, the room looked as though a violent struggle had taken place. Furniture had been overturned. The carpet appeared ripped apart. The shower was running, yet there wasn't a single person inside. No intruder, no guest, no explanation. Then something even stranger happened. As the employee entered the room, a pale mist-like figure appeared to drift out through the doorway. For only a brief moment, it became visible on camera before fading from sight. Almost immediately afterward, the light outside the room 209 began flickering. On, off, on, off. Whether it was a simple electrical issue or something more unsettling remains a matter of debate, but for many viewers, the footage seemed to capture something impossible, a strange presence leaving the room at the exact moment investigators entered. To this day, no one has been able to explain what happened inside room 209 that night. The screams, the destroyed room, the strange figure caught on camera remains a mystery. But while the people investigating room 209 never found the source of the disturbance, the explorer in our next story would discover something far more terrifying, because unlike whatever may have been lurking inside that hotel room, this threat was very real, and it was waiting for him in the darkness. This video was originally uploaded to YouTube by the channel Simple Sacklin in June of 2026. In the footage, creator Max sets out to explore an abandoned Soviet-era school hidden deep within the forest of Russia. Before arriving, a local fisherman had warned him about the location. According to the man, the greatest danger lurking in the area wasn't other people, it was bears. The nearby river was packed with fish, attracting wildlife from miles away. Taking the warning seriously, Max armed himself with pepper spray, 2 flashlights, and headed toward the decaying school. From the moment he stepped inside, the atmosphere felt unsettling. Long abandoned hallways stretched into darkness. Empty classrooms sat frozen in time. Every room seemed to carry the feeling that it had been deserted in a hurry decades earlier. As he explored, he began discovering personal belongings scattered throughout the building. Some appeared abandoned. Others seemed intentionally arranged. In fact, several rooms looked almost lived in, as if someone had been using the school as a temporary shelter. That realization alone was unsettling. But moments later, something else demanded his attention. A strange noise echoed from somewhere deeper inside the building.
Жутковатенько, однако. Такая тишина. Смотрите, походу здесь есть электричество. Имеется счетчик, и все практически подсоединено. Какие-то звуки странные, но скорее всего это из-за дождя. В общем, света нету, что реально это было. Ну, я надеюсь, что это просто мышки там. Вокруг все-таки лес. Какие-нибудь бурундуки, я не знаю. Ну, какие-то звуки там имеются. Воу! Эй! Что-то меня прям трясет, если честно. Да что ж такое-то?
At first, Max tried to convince himself there was a simple explanation. Rain was falling outside. Old buildings make noises. Rodents often inhabit abandoned structures. Yet the sounds continued, and with each new noise, they seemed increasingly deliberate. Not wanting to dwell on it, Max eventually left the area and continued exploring. But no matter where he went, the sounds seemed to follow. As he pushed deeper into the school, he encountered a room that had been completely boarded shut. Unlike the rest of the building, someone had clearly taken time to seal it off. The discovery immediately raised questions. Who had boarded it up, and more importantly, why? Rather than investigate further, Max moved into another section of the school, yet the noises persisted. Now it felt less like random sounds inside an old building, and more like something responding to his movements, as though someone was keeping track of exactly where he was.
Эти беспонтовые звуки там вообще не в кассу на самом деле. Как же здесь стрёмно, друзья. Как будто кто-то реально там сейчас. Я прям сейчас отчетливо слышал, кто-то прошелся. Даже стрёмно как-то к окнам подходить, если честно.
The deeper he ventured, the more uneasy he became. Several times he searched nearby rooms expecting to find another person. Each time he came up empty, but there were signs, fresh disturbances, evidence of recent activity, and perhaps, most unsettling of all, a strong smell of alcohol drifting through portions of the building. By now, Max was convinced someone else was inside. The question was whether they wanted to be found. Determined to uncover the source of the noise, he continued searching room after room. Then, just as he entered one of the final sections of the school, everything went wrong.
Стрёмно, блядь. Тут крыши нету. Я надеюсь, чуть не обвалится. Не обвалится. Я.
The encounter happened so suddenly that Max barely had time to react. According to him, someone had been hiding just out of sight inside the room. The moment he entered, the individual rushed forward and attacked. A violent struggle followed. Disoriented and overwhelmed, Max was knocked to the floor as the attacker swung a wooden stick directly into his face. The blow left him stunned and in immediate pain. Realizing he was in serious danger, he abandoned the investigation and fled the building as quickly as possible. Only after reaching the safety of his vehicle did he stop. Later, while speaking to viewers, he explained the extent of what had happened. His eye had swollen noticeably from the impact. Several pieces of filming equipment were damaged during the struggle. His phone had also been smashed. As for the attacker's identity, Max believed it was likely a homeless individual who had been living inside the school. The person had probably been there the entire time, watching, waiting, and when Max unknowingly entered their space, they reacted with violence. Looking back, the warning signs were there from the beginning. The strange noises, the boarded room, the belongings scattered throughout the building. Max wasn't alone, and by the time he realized it, it was already too late. But while Max eventually discovered who was hiding inside that abandoned school, the explorer in our next story would come face to face with a figure that remains unexplained to this day. If you're enjoying the video so far, please consider subscribing. Your support genuinely helps the channel grow, and the deeper we go, the more disturbing these encounters become. But for now, let's continue. On the night of October the 8th, 2023, urban explorer Marcella set out to investigate an abandoned church hidden deep within the woods. The structure had been left to decay for years. Surrounded by dense trees and far removed from civilization, it was the kind of place that naturally invited ghost stories and local legends. At first glance, it appeared deserted, but before long, strange sounds began echoing through the darkness around him.
Hi guys, it is pretty late at night. I am coming to a creepy church, which I found the location online. I don't know if you can get in there or not, but I'm here tonight to check it out. It sure does look creepy. It's been abandoned for quite a long time.
Standing outside the crumbling church, Marcella prepared himself to enter. What he didn't realize was that he might not have been the only one there that night. With little more than a flashlight and a camera, he stepped through the entrance and into the darkness.
creepy looking church. And I cannot believe I'm on my own doing this stuff. I've got to watch where I'm walking. I can hear all sorts of noises. I'm nervous. I'm really nervous. But you know, I've got to bring the best for you guys.
Inside, the church felt frozen in time. The air was heavy and every creak of the old structure seemed amplified by the silence surrounding it. As he moved through the building, the shifting shadows played tricks on his eyes. Every dark corner felt occupied. Every distant sound demanded attention. Marcella called out into the darkness, hoping to determine whether anyone else was inside. No answer came, yet the uneasy feeling remained.
Falling through. What is this? What? That scared me. Look, there's quite a lot of pigeons in here. Guys, I am so nervous right now. So not doing this on my own again. How many of you guys would come into a place like this on your own?
Trying to stay calm, Marcella continued deeper into the building. The remains of the church were scattered everywhere. Broken pews lay abandoned across the floor, while relics of the building's past sat untouched beneath layers of dust. Among them was an old christening font, a reminder that this place had once been filled with life, families, and celebration. Now it stood silent, forgotten, and seemingly occupied by something else.
Oh wow, check that over there. We've even got a christening pot right there. Just think people would have been christened here once. What? Is that a pigeon? Hello? 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 Ah! Hello?
At first, Marcella assumed the noises were coming from birds nesting inside the church. Then he saw it. Sitting alone in the darkness was what appeared to be a pale woman, draped in a cloak. For a brief moment, she remained completely still. Then she turned toward him. Marcella immediately froze. Until that moment, he had been convinced he was alone. Now he was staring directly at someone or something he hadn't noticed before. Panic took over. His scream echoed through the church as survival instincts kicked in. There was only one thing left to do: run. Marcella made it out of the church without stopping to investigate further, but the mystery didn't end there. After the footage was uploaded, viewers began dissecting every frame. Some believed the figure was simply a trespasser hiding inside a building. Others argued it was nothing more than a trick of the light combined with Marcella's fear, but many weren't convinced. They pointed to the figure's appearance, the strange crying sound, and the timing of the encounter as evidence that something far stranger had occurred that night. Whether the cloaked woman was a trespasser, a spirit, or simply a trick of the darkness remains open to debate. What isn't up for debate is how quickly Marcella decided to leave. But as frightening as that encounter was, at least he had a clear path to escape. The explorer in our next story wouldn't be nearly as fortunate. The following footage was uploaded to YouTube by the channel Forgotten Baltics in October 2022. In the video, a Latvian urban explorer ventures into a massive abandoned apartment complex located in the heart of Riga. The building has sat empty for years and was reportedly scheduled for renovation in the near future. Wanting to document the property before it disappeared forever, the explorer quietly slipped inside. At first, everything went according to plan. The building appeared deserted, and he moved from floor to floor without attracting any attention. At one point, however, he discovered a lone shoe abandoned inside one of the apartments. The strange find made him wonder if someone else might be inside the building. But aside from that unsettling discovery, their exploration remained uneventful until suddenly everything changed. Without realizing it, he walked directly through a security sensor. Moments later, an alarm began blaring throughout the building.
So when I entered this building, I triggered a security alarm, but I hope that nobody will come. Oh, there is a security car, so I need something to do, somewhere to hide. So right now I'm going to the last floor and I'm going to hide there. I don't expect that security can come here, so this is a surprise for me. I really need somewhere to hide, so I'm going to hide somewhere here. Yes, it is a good place to hide. I hope they won't come here to check me. Well, I'm quite scared. So now I will stay here around half an hour, and I hope that security won't go inside this building.
The explorer immediately knew he was in trouble. With the alarm echoing through the complex, there was little chance of leaving unnoticed. To make matters worse, security arrived far sooner than expected. According to him, he had accidentally triggered the alarm during a previous visit, and nobody had shown up. This time was different. Within minutes, a security vehicle pulled up outside. With no safe route to escape, he rushed to the upper floors and squeezed himself into a cramped metal storage crate. Now trapped inside, all he could do was remain silent and hope he wouldn't be discovered. As he listened from his hiding place, sounds began drifting upward from below. Footsteps, voices, doors opening and closing. The guards were searching the building, and with every passing minute, they seemed to be getting closer.
Ko tu domā? Sauksim policiju? Nu nē, es domāju, ka nav šeit neviena. Nu reku, ka kāds policis dzīvo 2 nedēļas atpakaļ. Bet mēs taču neredzējām nevienu. Nu jā. Labi, tad braucam laiku.
Well, it seems that there is no more security, but still I need to be very quiet. So when I was hiding at this last floor, security was searching for me in this building. I guess they checked every stairs, but they didn't see me in this metal box.
The voices eventually faded, but the explorer wasn't convinced the danger had passed. The guards had come alarmingly close to finding him. According to him, they searched nearly every stairwell in the building and came within only a few feet of his hiding spot. Had they looked inside the metal container, the exploration would have ended immediately. Even after hearing the guards leave, he refused to move. Instead, he remained hidden for nearly another hour. He feared they might still be outside waiting for him, or worse, expecting him to reveal himself once he thought the coast was clear. Eventually, he decided he couldn't wait any longer, but there was one final problem. The only path out required passing the same alarm sensor again and triggering it a second time.
And I hope that there is no more security, and I need to go very fast from here, because now I will trigger an alarm one more time. So here is an alarm. Where it is? Yeah, it is here. Yes, alarm is triggered. so we need to go. So hopefully today they don't catch me and I managed to get away from there. Bye bye, not today.
With no other option, the explorer made his move. The moment he crossed the sensor, the alarm erupted once again. Now it was a race against time. If security responded as quickly as they had earlier, he would have only minutes to escape. Fortunately, luck was finally on his side. He managed to leave the building and put distance between himself and the property before anyone arrived. For the second time that night, the alarm had sounded, but this time, he wasn't around to greet the responding guards. In the end, patience and a bit of luck allowed the explorer to slip away unnoticed. Had the guards looked inside that metal crate, the night could have ended very differently. Fortunately, his greatest fear that evening was being caught. The explorer in our final story would venture somewhere far more isolated, where the thing watching him from the darkness was far harder to explain. In 2022, the YouTube channel Urbex uploaded what would become one of the most unsettling explorations ever captured on the channel. While hiking through a wooded area, Chris came across an entrance to a massive drainage tunnel disappearing into the darkness. Most people would have taken one look and kept walking, but for an urban explorer, finding a place like this is hard to ignore. Hidden locations often hold forgotten history, strange discoveries, and occasionally something far more disturbing. Stepping inside, he was immediately surrounded by graffiti-covered walls, shallow water flowing beneath his feet, and an eerie echo that seemed to follow his every movement. The further he ventured, the more isolated the tunnel became. Roughly half a mile from the entrance, the colorful artwork began to disappear. Silence replaced it. A thin layer of fog drifted through the passageway, and the air grew noticeably heavier. It was around this point that Chris realized just how deep he had gone. Turning back would mean a long walk through the darkness, but continuing forward felt equally unsettling. Adding to the unease were stories he had heard from other explorers who had visited the tunnel before. According to local rumors, strange figures had occasionally been spotted deep inside the system. Witnesses described glowing eyes watching from the darkness, always disappearing before anyone could get close enough for a proper look. Chris dismissed the stories as little more than urban legends. At least, he did until he passed a piece of graffiti scrawled across one of the walls. "Human flesh tastes better in the dark." Whether it was meant as a joke or not, the message only added to the growing feeling that something about this place wasn't right. Still, curiosity pushed him onward. As the tunnel widened, the water became deeper and the humidity intensified. Fog mixed with steam, creating a hazy veil that swallowed the beam of his flashlight. The sound of rushing water echoed through the passageways as he approached a massive intersection where several tunnels connected. Then suddenly, his flashlight caught movement. For the briefest moment, a pair of glowing eyes stared back at him from around the corner. Then another pair appeared. Whatever was down there, it wasn't alone. Looking closely, you can make out what appears to be a strange humanoid figure peering around the edge of the tunnel. Its body seems unnaturally thin as it watches Chris from only a short distance away. The figure remains frozen for a second, then it quickly slips back into the darkness, splashing water as it disappears. Most people would have turned around immediately. Chris did the opposite. With his camera rolling and adrenaline surging, he moved toward the spot where the figure had just been standing. Reaching the corner, he swung his light around expecting to find someone hiding nearby. There was nothing. No footsteps, no voices, no sign that anyone had been there at all. Determined to find an explanation, he continued deeper into the tunnel for nearly 10 more minutes. But the further he traveled, the less he found. Whatever he had seen seemed to have vanished completely. Eventually, he decided it was time to leave. Yet somehow the return journey felt even worse. The deeper sections of the tunnel had become consumed by thick fog, and the silence that surrounded him now felt almost oppressive. As he neared the entrance, a strange sound suddenly echoed from somewhere deep behind him. Chris never stopped to investigate. Instead, he continued toward the exit and left the tunnel behind him as quickly as possible. Whatever was lurking inside those tunnels never revealed itself completely. Maybe it was another explorer hiding in the darkness. Maybe it was nothing more than a trick of the light. Or maybe the stories surrounding those tunnels were true after all. Either way, one thing is certain. Deep beneath the city, something appeared to be watching. And to this day, nobody knows exactly what it was.
And that wraps up this episode. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe so we can keep bringing you more creepy, bizarre, and haunting tales. Check out the links below to dive deeper. And if you have your own creepy encounter, tell us in the comments. We might feature it in a future video. Until next time, sleep tight.